Okay, welcome back to the party. Alright, let's continue. AWS S3 documentation. S3. Go, go, go. Fast and furious. Alright, this has to be light mode. React. EC2. Django. S3. So what was the last thing? Directory buckets. Low latency, one zone, dedicated local zones, some limitations in place. Almost pretty much the same as the regular buckets. Supports monitoring CloudWatch, CloudFilter encryption. We can do the regular things like create list, search, find. There is no versioning, there is no what? We got to use the AWS CLI S3 API target to create. It has a specific naming convention. Okay. MFA delete protection. S3 and table selects. Static web hosting, versioning, etc. Things that are not supported for directory buckets. Let's continue. Directory buckets. So, what was the last thing? Requires VPC gateway endpoint. Deleting, managing, working with objects in directory buckets. What was the last thing I've been reading? We can copy, download, sign it, URLs. Networking. Okay, yep, it requires a VPC gateway endpoint. VPC gateway endpoint in order to have access, quick access to the bucket. There is a naming convention that it is in place already. Managing backup policies. It supports policies, we know that. Emptying, deleting. Yeah, we know that. Deleting a bucket directory, deleting the bucket itself. See if we can access to it or not. Working with objects inside the bucket. Okay. So what about the objects inside the bucket directory? That's new. Okay, let's continue with that. Quick and fast. Fast and quick. Oops. My gosh. Nice. So still directory buckets. This is objects. Okay, what we can do? Import, life cycle. Let's have some key names here. Keywords. Import. What else? Life cycle. Okay, so that is class storage. Life cycles. Batch operations, which is good. These directory buckets are supposed to be really much more faster than the regular S3 buckets. Uploading, obviously. Upload. Copy, delete. Delete, download. Pretty much the same. Sign, URLs, metadata, listing. Okay, good to know. So importing objects, what does that mean? From a regular S3 bucket or what? Yes. For source, enter the general purpose bucket or bucket path including the prefix that contains the object you want to import. Okay, makes sense. Life cycle, what's this? Life cycle configuration. You can create life cycle rules to expire objects and delete incomplete multi-part uploads. Life cycle. I didn't know that, but this is important to know. Expire objects, delete incomplete multi-part uploads. Great. Nice. Create sessions, bucket policy to grant permissions, monitoring, lifecycle rules, how to create a lifecycle, and configuration, troubleshooting S3 lifecycle for S3 for directory buckets using batch operations. And we can invoke lambda, as the same as the bucket. Differences. Okay, what's different? SSE S3 encryption are supported. S3 bucket keys aren't supported when you copy SSE KMS encrypted objects. Express one song, that's the algorithm for hashing. Granting permission. Appending data to objects. What's that? You can add data to the end of existing objects stored in S3. Express ones on a storage class. in directory buckets. Okay, but how is that useful? What is that for? Uploading objects to a directory bucket. Yeah, I know how to upload using multi-part uploads. Okay, that's good to know. So uploads can be even much more faster compared to the regular S3 buckets. So multi-part process, pretty much the same, I guess. Checksums, CRC, SHA, the same algorithms, multi-part uploads and pricing. Part number 1, upload ID. Yeah, I need to do a laboratory about these multi-part uploads. Copying an object from or to a directory bucket. S3 API is still the same. Okay. S3 API namespace. Delete an object can't be undone. Yeah, because there are no versioning. How to preassign an object and expire time, retrieving metadata. Everything is using S3 API. Get attributes, get object here, listing objects. Yeah, security for directory buckets. Okay, security. Security is the highest priority for AWS. AWS, okay, WWS, AWS, Yoglish. AWS. Internet is really slow for me. Seems to be better now. Oh no. Okay, show me. Show me, come on. Next.
Makes perfect sense. Cool. Fantastic. So perhaps moving on to sort of more leadership stuff.
Company in days before Amazon, AWS, and
AWS.
Seriously, we're hosted on AWS.
AWS.
They wanted a Amazon AWS-like service.
AWS, okay, we are good. Security, yeah. Security is important, we know. AWS know it. Data protection and encryption. Wait. What I just did. Data protection. Server-side encryption. Server-side encryption with KMS and KMS. Encryption and transit, that is expected. So no user, the customer provided key supported, only KMS and server-side key or encryption. For copy object. Okay. Server-side encryption with S3. It's the default encryption configuration for every directory bucket. You can use server-side encryption with KMS as the default. You can opt for that. So that's it. Supports. Supports server side. What? Server side S3. Server side KMS. That's it. Let's go. Monitoring default encryption. How that can be monitored? Create session can be overridden. Note. Interesting. These examples show you how to configure default encryption by S3, by SSE S3, or by SSE KMS. Okay, show me the example. Put bucket encryption. Okay, we say which bucket server-side encryption configuration is going to be, and we specify the JSON, whether rules are basically using the SSE algorithm. Algorithm.
These physicians want to create an algorithm for diagnosing.
Algorithm. Perfect. So we specify only the algorithm. Now, when we talk about KMS, we say the ARN. I mean, the KMS should be already created, and we just need to specify which one is it by specifying the ARN. That's it. KMS. In directory buckets, yeah, we know it's supported. Yeah. Go. Specifying. Going back. Let's move forward. Okay. For new object uploads in directory bucket, I mean, why only the new ones? Okay, this create session is a new thing for me that I don't get. Authenticating and authorizing requests. Buckets are private, yes. Can be accessed only by users who are explicitly granted access. Okay. So is there a way we can expose this? And via API we can allow some authenticated and authorized users. Going to skip that. Regional and API zonal, I guess. can be considered for custom authorization and authentication API usage. Identity-based policies for directory bucket. What's this? Bucket policies. Yeah, I know this. So we know it supports bucket policies. Authorizing zonal endpoint API operations with create session. Create session. Session. What about session?
It'll also be shared at the create session later today.
It will also be shared at the create session via a screen.
Create session. Perfect. Security best practices. We know it has to be private, not open by default. The least privilege concept. We need to monitor with CloudWatch and CloudTrail as usual. So what's monitoring? CloudWatch is the size of the objects mostly. In CloudTrail, things that were deleted or uploaded to a specific path, to a specific
Is there any evidence that points to a specific out? If you assign sex to a specific.
Okay. CloudTrail. Next. CloudTrail log file examples for directory buckets. CloudTrail data event log files for examples for directory buckets. Cool, let's understand this. Event version, user identity, assume role. Account ID, access key ID, session context. It was a role. The principal ID, which is gonna be what? The AWS account. The account ID, username, and the role to be assumed. Attributes, date. MFA authenticated, false. Timestamp, event source, S3 Express. Event name, create session, which is, it was basically creating a session. Source IP, user agent, AWS SDK Java. Request parameters, the bucket, the host, what it wants to do, read, write. The response elements, a token, a key ID, expiration, additional data, signature, cipher, authentication method, authentication header. Request ID, event ID, read only. It's basically showing that a person, something trying to open a session to the S3 bucket so I can have access to it. And, well, it is a directory bucket as I can see, and a zonal host one. Local zone. Okay, optimizing directory bucket performance. That doesn't make sense. Why we want to do that? Isn't supposed to be fast already? Developing with directory buckets. Regional. I don't get this, not sure. Will be maybe something specific. It's good to know we can develop something using APIs. But okay, time will come in order to learn about that. Now, working with Amazon S3 tables and table buckets. What does that mean? We are done with directory buckets. Now, talking about S3 buckets, it's time to talk about S3 table and table buckets, which is the place we can query and search for files instead of just listing objects via HTTP. We can do SQL queries here and use aggregated functions, if I'm not mistaken, like count, average, etc. Let's see what we have. What are the features of the S3 tables? Purpose-built storage for tables, built-in support for Apache Iceberg, automated table optimization for SQL queries, integration, analytics service, related services, Athena. I know you can use Athena with S3, but the S3 buckets, well, the data, the objects in the buckets. But this is a SQL, seems to be a little bit different. We have AWS Glue, AMR, Redshift, QuickSight, Lake Formation. Okay, seems good. Seems really good. That's the next thing I want to check. Next, we have access control, we have security, data protection, cost optimization, nice, logging in and monitoring. So CloudWatch and Logtrail in deep. Optimization, hosting, static. So where are the classes in the life cycle? Let's search. Glacier documentation. Where is that? Oh, that is cost optimization. Perfect. The storage classes are solved or discussed in the cost optimization. Perfect. Great. Let's go with cloud AI. Okay, I'm learning about AWS S3 directory buckets. Show me there's a form and AWS like and JSON policies samples, so I can understand better what I learned. Give me examples based on AWS S3 documentation. I want to use the extend one. Go. Okay, still we need to know about EC2. EC2, we are able to create instances, spots, dedicated. What I want to do is to use user data SSH, which I'm doing it already. Yeah, but AAM roles and S3 access is the thing pending now to complete the small details to create an EC2 instance that is operational practically. Need to dig a little bit about AMIs and instance types. Need to monitor and check a little bit about the burstable type of instances. Then need to go about networking and storage. Need to explore the options I have for the storage. Root volume, EBS volume, that's it. Networking, ENI, EIPs, security groups, ENA, EFA, that's it. Storage network. Finally, we can go all the way down to auto-scaling groups, which is basically warm pools, launch templates, scale policies, scale up, scale down. Once we have auto-scaling, we can go to load balancers, which is going to be much more simpler, straightforward. Let's review some laboratories about it. But what about directory buckets? What examples we have now? Okay, how to create directory buckets now. Do you guys want to see this? Can I share? can't zoom. Okay, sorry. Okay, what we have on the S3 bucket, directory bucket configuration. So we basically create the bucket the directory bucket, which is the name, availability zone, and that's it. The access point, which is we need to specify the bucket, the name, and the account ID. What? Why? Okay. And then we specify S3 control bucket life cycle. This is an example. So I specify the bucket, and I put the rules and the expiration dates, and I can put a prefix as well if I don't want to expire everything inside the bucket. I have the output. The output, the access point is basically the domain name, I guess, that needs to be created. It's not created by default. Alright, CLI, what can do with CLI? Yeah, because I need to do also CLI. I don't want to do everything with Telegram. I need to do things with CLI. Create a bucket. Name, I specify availability zone, and bucket type directory. I can list, I can create a session, token to the directory bucket required for operations. Is it? I specify the ARN of the directory bucket for what? What can I do with that? Upload an object. So I put an object which is a txt file, the key name, and I specify the bucket ARN, but nothing else. So what about the session? What's that for? Where is the token being used? Okay. I can upload the object, get a simple object, list a directory, create an access point for the directory bucket. Okay, delete, set a life cycle. Okay, what is this policy now? And this is allowing the S3 Express create session, delete object, get object, list, put, list, bucket, resource. We have a couple. Well, we have the root directory bucket and the directory bucket / asterisk to specify everything. Star instead of asterisk. We have more than that. The access point. We also have access to the access point. Okay. Read only. We have a bucket policy. We got a bunch of things. Policy for using directory bucket access points. So we have to define the S3 bucket directory itself, and also the permissions over the endpoints, both of them. Okay, thanks. Key differences between directory bucket and general purpose. Zonal versus regional. Directory buckets are zonal resources tied to a specific availability zone, while general purpose buckets are regional. That's interesting and important to know. Directory buckets are zonal, dedicated or local zone buckets, one availability zone. Regional are basically regional. API differences. Directory buckets use the S3 Express API set, that requires a create session call before doing operations. ARN format are different. Session-based access, performance are low latency. I knew it. Limitation: no web hosting, no server-side with customer-provided keys. Yes, I knew it. No bucket versioning, no event notifications, no object look, and no event notification. That's good to know. Some more examples here. No event connections. No customer key encryption. No object book, maximum object, 5 terabytes, same as that was general purpose. Nice, that's it. New chat. So I read all AWS documentation, give me examples. Types of AWS EC2 instances specifically. Concepts need to give me some code examples. Let's start with, okay, let's start with something fun. Is it okay? No, it's not. Okay, let's go with user data, SSH access, SSM, SSH access with AWM role. Okay, let's go with that. No, when I didn't need this. I want really good examples. Copy, stop, extended version, paste, extended, choose a style, normal, go. So, user data, CloudWatch, SSM, AWM role for S3 access. I'll provide practical examples for managing EC2 instances using Optasa from AWS, starting with the concepts you mentioned. Okay, I want to specify something. I want to use Terraform to create instances and resources, and AWS would like to explore what has been deployed and queries on JSON objects. Go. Yeah, I want to be more specific. Let's see the examples what we have. No? It's editing the same thing. Oh, you're really thinking, Cloud AI. You're very good. Amazing. Okay, but I want to see this light color scheme. I don't want to see it dark. Yeah, security groups is what I did before as well. So in order to SSH, you need security groups. I did that. SSH, CloudWatch, user data, AWM role, and S3 access is main spending now. I'll repeat that. And really, I would like to do then storage and network. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is done. Yeah, AWS CLI filters and queries. That's what I want to do. I don't want to create things with it. I just want to explore. And I need something here. Okay. Markdown online. to see this full screen. Stop writing. Skip. Okay. Want to delete this? Open it. I want to remove everything. Select all, delete. Cool. Paste. Nice, nice, but still I don't see it. Okay, now I can see it good. It's amazing. I love the study. Okay, let's see. Let's see user data. We got we have style. I don't see colors for my code. Anyways, okay. Provider, that's good to know. Rest of the instance. We define the instance. We are using the email and the instance type. User data. Nice. Install Apache. Bing Bash. This is doing the way I did it before, but it's supposed to work. For me, it didn't work. I had to remove the tabs. Make sure that it starts with the shebang and not with white spaces in the user data. Okay. Anyways. Docs. Make sure the instance has a public IP. Okay, associate public address. That has to be enabled. I don't have to forget that. I must not forget that. CLA to explore with user data. Nice. Easy to describe instances. Query. Wow, but this is a really complex query. I cannot memorize this one. Reservations. Instances, which is everything. Reservations, instances. And then I specify ID, instance ID type, instance ID state name, tags, if it has the key name, which it has the key name, dot value 0. What does it mean? What is that? This dot value 0 square. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. What this is going to do is list all instances with their IDs, types, and states. Right? So this name thing is not clear. Name is gonna be tags. We'll ask if the key name exists. But why? What if not? What's the default? What to say default placeholder for it? Get details about a specific instance, including its user data, base 64 encoded. Okay. Describe instance ID query. Output table, output JSON. Query reservations, instances, and curly braces. We put ID, instance ID, user data. Pretty much easy. Pretty much easy. The call user data, say the actual script. Instance attribute, this one is different. So this will describe one particular attribute. Instance ID attribute user data. Query user data.value. Output text. It's gonna be base 64 encoded. I need to decode. So there are two ways. Describe the instance and do the query to pick up the user data. The other way is to query just straight forward to the user data attribute and then do the base for 64 decoding. Find all instances with a web server tag, I guess in the name, which is filter. Now we are using filters. and describe instances. Filters. Name equal tag. Name. Okay, name is gonna be tag and the field of the tag, which is name. Comma. Values can be web server. So name values. Name values. Name tag and the field name. Values whatever we want it to be. Query. Reservations instances that curly braces and they will specify the column names. ID, IP, state. ID is going to be instance ID. IP is going to be public IP address. State is going to be state.name. Amazing. This is cool. Check if HTTPD service is running on the instance. It requires SSM agent. AWS SSM send command. Okay. Instance IDs. Okay. Document name. Run shell script. Yeah, I know that. I did this from the web interface. Parameter. It's gonna be commands. Systemctl status HTTPD. Output text. Nice. This is great. Send command. I need to execute this. From web interface it is. Doing from CLI is the challenge. So what's going on here? What is this? Is it doing something? Okay, the SSH access switches. I need a keeper. Need to specify the public key. Need to define the security group, which is gonna be ingress and egress. From port to port and protocol. And the CIDR block I need. Tags, that's it. Then I need to create the instance, AMI instance site. Key name is the SSH key access. VPC security group IDs is the security group I need to allow to it. Tags, all goods, pretty straightforward. Explore SSH configuration. So what does that mean? Describe key pairs. So this will list the key pairs on. Doesn't matter what EC2 instances are using it. Check security groups. Describe security groups. Filters. We can filter by name and value. The name, IP permission, dot from port. Cool, interesting. And queries. We have no reservation here. We have security groups, and we are going to pick group name, group ID, IP permissions if we have the port 2022 in the front port name. And we have a Boolean condition here. So this will list all the security groups that have the port 22 open. This is a really good example. I hate going to the web interface just to see which ports have been opened by security groups. I can deal with this one as well. Find instances that can be accessed by SSH access. Has a pair key and security group that allows SSH. Cool. So describe instances by what? Name values. Key name. Star. Are we supposed to put here valid key name? Okay, reservations, instances. So we're picking up instance ID, key name. So we need to know the key name so we can know. So we will know what access keys are deployed, what key names are deployed. Okay, and security groups, asterisk, star, group name, public access, public IP address. So what about the SSH access? How do I know the port 22 is open? Allow or not allow. Okay. This is interesting. The AAM role for SSM. Okay. This is the thing I need right now. The role, SSM role is created, okay? The AAM role is created with a name. And we have an assumed role policy, which is how this is going to be assumed by the AAM in order to get a valid token. Principal, EC2, Amazon. I need to understand this as a thing. Okay, once that is created, we attach that role. Oh no, we attach a policy to the role, but we don't create a policy. The policy that exists already is Amazon SSM Manage Instance Core. Amazon SSM Manage Instance Core. So that's the thing that's already configured for my instance to have access to allow SSM to do things in my server, so I can remotely execute commands or automate things using SSM. So the role assumes to attach the SSM Manage Instance Core policy. We create the instance profile. I specify the role button. So I create the instance, which we have AMI instance type, AAM instance profile, and then I specify which is the SSM profile. That name is the attribute that needs to be linked to my instance profile. I need to specify security group for what? What is this? Alright, yeah, I need to specify the egress. So this says security group without SSH, optional but recommended for SSM only access. Okay, I need to expose port 2020. I don't need to expose the port 22. Interesting. Cool. Okay, explore and use SSM access. Describe instances, instance profile, reservation instances, instance profile. Okay. This is getting cool. I can use the policy. Complex example. Auto-scaling group with load balancer. Not yet. Wait. I'm not there yet. I know how to do this, but I wanted to do it by coding this all by myself. Good. It was really amazing. Nice. They will be happy about this. Okay, now give me an example. Okay, so I want my user to understand to get HTML files from my user bucket and deploy it into as my web page. Go. I'm late already. I'm late. Yeah, this is what I want to do. I need my EC2 to pull up a web static application from S3 and deploy it to the server. I need to know how to create the AAM policy, basically. Oh, you're even coding the HTML thing. Thank you. I don't actually need this, but thank you anyways. Regarding the AWS, useful comments, so can help me issues. is this? Fla. Perfect, let's go. It does a fun configuration. Oh, it's creating this tree bucket as well. I don't think I need this, but it's doing it already. Yay! Random string. Yeah, it's recommended to have a random string suffix for the bucket name. Block public access to the tree bucket, but that is isn't by default already. The public access block. Specify the bucket and say make sure it's not public. Role for EC2 to access S3. Cool. I create a role. I assume the EC2 role principal service, and then I create a policy. This time I'm creating the policy. The policy is going to be a JSON encode theme policy, where we define the get object and the list bucket. Okay, get object and list bucket. That's what we need to know. The resource, specify that. I don't think I'm going to create a bucket from here, or maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it. Let's see. I attach a role policy attachment. Okay, the AAM policy will create AAM role, AAM policy, AAM role policy attachment. Okay, AAM role policy attachment, and then what? The SSM thing. The SSM manage instance cover. I will attach that as well. Then the instance profile, then the security group for the port 80. And I can have multiple ingress. Cool. Ingress. Perfect. Then I create the instance which is gonna have instance profile, VPC security group. No need to have 2020. The 22 port open. I have my user data. So what the fuck? Create deployment script that will run on both and periodically. I'm interested. So it's creating a bash script inside my user data, which is creating the bar.html directory, and it's syncing from my bucket into the bar.html directory, setting up ownerships, permissions with chmod and chom. If no HTML access exists, create a placeholder. Nice. It will create a placeholder. That's interesting. Make the deployment script executable. Yes, run the script and set up a cron job. How to do that? Echo every 5 minutes using the root user. It will execute the bash script, and I create a deploy website file under the cron.d directory. I set the proper permissions, and that's it. Interesting. So it will execute every 5 minutes. So whenever I put something in the stray bucket and override my HTML files, it will get deployed to the server every 5 minutes. I like that. I really like that. Okay, and upload my file. So here I'm creating an index file with HTML, CSS, an about file, and then I'm doing the upload manually from CLI. I monitor the deployment, which basically check the instance, get console output. Interesting. Check the system log to see if the user data script ran successfully. Easy to get console outputs. I specify the instance ID and the output. Pretty easy. I don't need to SSH into the machine. I don't need to go and check cloud init log in bar log. All I need to do is just get console output from CLI. Just need to specify the instance ID. No SSH connections. Amazing. This is gold. Okay, let's see this. Get console output. Amazing. Now I can run commands with same command. I know that. This is specified. This is SSM this is easy to. Nice. So I can do an ls to see if my files are there. I can check the Apache version, so I can run whatever command I want. I can check I can check what the objects were uploaded to the S3 bucket. Website content, yes. To the form destruction, to the form cloud front. Yeah, hold on. We're going so far already. Okay. Now show me some examples related to networking, which involves network interfaces and optimizations, and also storage, which involves root EBS and regular EBS. Go. This is getting amazing. I didn't have a chance to look into React, Django, PyTorch, Webhooks. It's late already. So today is gonna be AWS only. AWS only. Okay, that's okay. AWS only. That's okay. There is not always time to do everything. We have to do what we have to do. We must do. We can do with whatever we have, wherever we are. The things to make progress. That's the angle. So yeah. Come on, come on. What a beautiful view I have. It is done. Let's finish up with this. Paste. Nice. Alright, networking. What we can do with it? No, please don't create VPCs yet. Okay. Create a VPC, create a subnet, internet gateway, routes table. For the internet gateway, obviously, the route table association, yes, the route tables can have access. Route table, okay, we are putting the route table that has the internet gateway into the subnet. We are creating security groups for the port 22 access. I don't like that. We have the port 80 and we have the egress, okay. Now we are creating the instance. So what about here? Enable enhanced network attributes. What does this mean? What does that mean? Elastic network adapter for higher bandwidth and lower latency. Elastic network adapter. So why 0? Oh, the count. So if it's 0, we'll create nothing. The instance won't be created. Security group, yeah. Network interface block. This is cool. Network interface ID. Network AWS network interface secondary.id. Device index 1. But where is that? Where is that device network being created? Is it lower? Is it at the end? I wanted to see that first. Okay. Root block volume. Root block device, which is going to be the root mount for the operating system in case it's the Linux. Volume 20, GP3, encrypted yes, tags. Okay, what about this? Elastic IP. Nothing straightforward. Domain VPC and the tag. Pretty straightforward. EIP association. I associate to the instance ID and the allocation. So first create the allocation and then associate. Network interface, here it is. Secondary. Specify the subnet. Specify the private IPs. So you can have multiple then. It is an array. The security groups. Okay. So the security group is something not just for the entire instance, but also for the particular network interface. Interesting. Amazing. So right now my instance has 2 security groups, but one security group is for the secondary network interface, and the other security group is for the entire server, virtual machine. Wow. And I have a secondary public IP or elastic IP address for the network interface. So that is interesting to know. If I don't specify a network interface for the elastic IP address or for the for the EAP, then the main network interface is the one that gets attached to the service. So we have now a security group only for the secondary network interface. We have the elastic IP only for the secondary network interface. Here, troubleshooting. You got the instance ID. Go to the log, just filter some queries. Check if ENA is enabled. So how can I know ENA is enabled? How do I know? Network interface has been created here. We have the security groups and the private IP addresses. We are attaching this, but is it ENA or not? I'm pretty much sure that this output is gonna be no. It is not ENA. Okay. Describe instances. Describe network interfaces, and have the network ID, IP address, public, private, device index, and I have filters. Name and values for filters as always, as usual. Attachment instance ID, so I have the instance ID, basically instance ID. Details about the network interface. Describe network interface. Check if Django frames are supported. MTU. Check if it's ANA or not. Oh, so I can do that with its tool and see if it's ANA. Check network performance using SSM. Interesting. I can check the network performance with the Amazon Cloud Agent that needs to be installed. Now with the add tool, I can see the receive bytes transmission and the transmission bytes. Read and transmit bytes. Capture the network throughput. Okay, this is getting interesting. Same thing. What's this? Check errors. Check if the TCP port is updated, but it's using netstat instead of SS. NS lookup. Check DNS resolution. So this is giving me really cool commands to troubleshoot issues. Check netstat. Describe security groups. Verify VPC flows are enabled or not. Check CPU credit balance for virtual instances that might affect network performance. Okay, you're not talking anymore about networking. How this is really useful, but why are you talking about this? Okay, it's useful anyways. Get metric statics. Namespace, metric name, CPU credit balance, which is surplus. Dimensions, instance ID, and I specify my instance. Start time, end time. Need to use the date, command line, activity. 1 hour ago to the current time. Period, 300 seconds. Statics average. Okay. Check the credit balance. How much credit I have left? Network in-out metrics. In and out metrics. Pretty much same thing. Dimensions, start time, end time, period, statistics, output. Metric name. That's it. What's this? Metric name, CPU credit balance, namespace. Namespace, metric name, network in. But what about the out? Network out, I don't see that one. This other one is the network out, so we have two different metric names, two different executions for that. Okay, storage. Now we are into storage. KMS, it's really important. Now we are talking about storage. KMS with what we need to talk. Deletion keys, enable key rotation, so we are creating KMS key. I need to take notes. So, talking about network, I need second ENA. Okay, but there's EIP, and also security group, and we're good with that. Send command for SS get tool, which was great. What else? We need to run these commands. What's this? Network cloud. IPRF 3. Network errors, netstat, and circup. Okay, good. Now, what about volumes? The KMS is used. Storage optimized. Okay, instance type, storage optimized, and that's a general purpose type of instance. Zoot block device. Yeah, GP3 size, IOPS. We are defining IOPS here. Throughput. Throughput encrypted. Yes. And we specify the KMS. Good. Delete on termination by the flow through. Additional general purpose EBS. Cool. Now we specify the EBS block device, device name, volume type, volume size, IOPS and throughput. Encrypted, yes, and we use the same KMS that created before. EBS block device. We're adding another one, which is high performance provision IOPS. Volume types not GP2, GP3. Now this time is IO2 for high performance workloads. Volume size 200 gigabytes. IOPS 10,000. What's the IOPS here? 4,000. What about here? The OS operating system 3,000. So yeah, this is better. It's encrypted using the same KMS. Okay. We have a cold storage volume, which is really low, which is interesting. Volume size 500. Volume type SC1. That's the cold storage volume for data that we can access regularly. So this is a good example to have a mix of high performance performance storage volumes. We have the regular one for the root block storage. We have a regular one for some data. We have a high one with using the IO2 and 10,000 IOPS. And we have a cold storage, EC1. We create and we need to use user data to configure this. We need to give it a format, and we need to modes. We need to add the records to AFS DAO, optimization for database, and monitoring tools. Tools. IOTop, yes. Sysstat, where we have Survey, and AWS CloudWatch agent. And it's creating an standard. Alright, yeah, now it's creating a volume out of the EC2 instance with another resource, which is also good. Saying the same way to define parameters. Size, type, IOPS, throughput, encrypted, KMS, and some outputs. Troubleshooting commands. Okay, we can have the instance, we can describe volumes with the specific columns I want, and the root volume, whatever. That's interesting. Describe volumes, the status of the volumes, snapshots. We can list the snapshots. Snapshots of the root volume. Now we can see the df when running send commands. Everything's related to disk, like df lsp key test the IO. Disk errors. Modify the volume to increase size. We cannot decrease the size. Then we have to grow part, create a new EBS, attach same comments, volume, get metrics. Yeah, we can get metrics on networks. CloudWatch. Metrics. So it's not the metrics about the instance only. We have to take care about the network metrics on network interface in the EBS volumes. And all of them have metric name, dimensions, start and period, and statistics type. Optimize. There's another one. Optimize some concepts and patterns. A little bit of hardening on the operating system to make it much better. Wow, that was really great. Now we have type and instances type and the maximum performance network. T3, T3A, 5 gigabytes per second. The C1, CM, yeah, ENA. This one are using the N suffix. C5N, M5N, R5N, 100 gigabytes per second. Regular ones, C5, M5, R5, 25 gigabytes per second. The burstable is 5 gigabytes per second. That's a really good table. Really good to know. And we're done. We are done. Let's go to work.